Hey guys, Nina here, and I'm going to be reading chapter 4 of a Ben fan fiction. And please have no parents in the room, please be 16, and please have headphones on, because there is some sexual activities, and I will be reading it because I get pissed when someone doesn't read that part and they can skip an entire chapter and it's like all juicy and stuff like that. I don't like that. And then they don't leave the link to the story either, and then I get so mad. So yeah, I will be reading it, so just warning you now. So let's get started. Yeah. I looked up at Ben with lust-filled eyes and a red face as he hovered over me, panting because we just finished making out for about half an hour. He was shirtless and his pants were halfway down his legs. "Ben?" I said in an airy voice. He looked down at me, stopped panting. "Yeah?" he asked, slightly worried. I looked down and blushed a little bit red, and looked back up at him. "I'm ready," I said, my voice shaking. He looked at me with a perverted smile and stripped And then I was stripped from all my clothes with just a few motions of his hands. Of a quick motion of his hands, leaving me in only my underwear. I gasped as he slowly took off my underwear and slid into me without warning. I screamed loudly as he did. I really didn't expect it to hurt that much, but sure enough, it did. It soon turned into pleasure, and I let out moans. I let moans escape my mouth. 5 hours later, I was laying in bed, trying to catch my breath, and looked over at Ben, who was crashed out with a really smoky gaze in his eyes. I ran my hands through his hair and smiled slightly and slowly got out of bed, trying not to wake Ben from his sleep. I sighed and walked out to the door, about to go downstairs, but I noticed I was completely naked, and my bed was wet, and my body was wet and sticky from all the juices we created together. I blushed and took a shower in Ben's restroom and changed into some clean underwear and a bra, then changed into one of his shirts and stepped outside of the restroom and saw that Ben was still asleep and still moaning. I giggled and walked out of the room, running to mine, hoping nobody would see me since I was in my underwear. "Violet?" I heard Jeff say from behind me. "Shit," I mumbled under my breath and turned around to face him. "Hi," I said, waving my hand awkwardly while holding down the green shirt with my other hand as best as I possibly could. I saw Jeff covering his eyes with both hands because he had no eyelids, so he covered them with his hands. "Why did you come out of Ben's room in your underwear?" he yelled frantically. I froze, trying to come up with a good excuse, but let's face it, I had none. I tried to make up a good excuse, but none other than Ben appeared out of nowhere and said the worst thing possible. "I popped her cherry," he said with a big grin plastered on, and punching his fist into the air. Jeff's mouth dropped and took out his knife, growling while looking over at Ben in rage. "You little fucker, come here so I can slit your fucking throat, you dumb fuck," Jeff yelled, chasing Ben all over the mansion. "Violet, help!" I made a run for it and ran into my room, locking the door behind me. I quickly put on some shorts and buried my head in my pillow, trying to block out all the screams. I'm such a bad girlfriend, I mumbled into my pillow. I heard a knock at the door and slowly opened it. Masky? Hoodie? I still tilting my head confused. What's up? Masky crossed his arms and Hoodie handed me a small box. Here, and next time try to keep it down. There's an 8-year-old only 2 doors down from you, Masky said, annoyed. I blushed inside. Sorry, and okay, I said, embarrassed, and closed the door, walking back to my bed. I opened the box and a package dropped on my hand. Are you? Wow, I thought to myself as I held the object. A condom? I yelled, dropping it down into the box. The worst part was that they were flavored. Really, Masky? I walked outside my room and growled in pain as I headed downstairs because, well, my lower part started to hurt a lot out of nowhere. I reached downstairs and walked into the kitchen and grabbed an apple and bit into it. I was really hungry since I was out cold for a month. Sally, why were you screaming last night? I said. I got worried. I heard a tiny voice from behind me. Sally? I nearly screamed and started to choke a little. I was having a bad dream. But I'm okay, I said, smiling while patting her head awkwardly. She looked at me, unconvinced, and giggled slightly. Okay, Sally, whatever you say. Oh. And Jeff and Ben are fighting outside. Should I tell them to stop? She asked worriedly. I sighed and looked at her, smiling. No, that's fine, Sally. Knowing them, they'll stop in about an hour or so. She nodded and froze, holding her bear up to her ear, shaking her head and gasped like he was telling her something. Charles said you and Ben fuck. I waved my hand in front of her face. No, don't listen to Charles. He's just being silly. I screamed while fake smiling. She giggled and poked my nose, running off. If it's a girl, I want to be first to know, she said while winking at me. My eyes widened and I sat on the couch, feeling my stomach. Please don't be, I thought to myself, sighing. After 2 months passed, and within these 2 months, I was feeling like shit. I was currently throwing up every 10 minutes. I was impossible to move around. Ben looked at me with worried eyes. Sally, or Violet, you don't think, he said worryingly. I sighed and put my hand on my head. No, it's probably just sick, that's all. Sorry guys, I've been reading, I've been trying to pre-record some videos since I'm going on a camping trip this weekend, so I'm hoping that I can get some pre-recorded videos, so sorry about all the coughing. Violet, you don't think, Ben said worryingly. I sighed and put my hand on my head. No, it's probably just the flu. That's all, I said, looking down. Violet, it's been 2 months. We should go talk to Sunday, okay? Like, now, he said, putting his hand on my shoulder. and looked at me with big puppy eyes. I looked back up at him, with a bad feeling. He took my hand and walked me over to his office. Sally, Slendy, we need your help, Ben shouted through the door. I was still groaning in pain, holding my stomach. Please, please don't be pregnant, I thought to myself, tears in my eyes. I saw the door open to reveal Slenderman. Come in, he said, opening the door wider. Ben sighed and slammed his hand on his desk. I think Violet is pregnant. Maybe pregnant, he shouted, looking at me worried. Slenderman walked up to me and crouched onto my height, looking straight into my stomach. Well, Ben said, impatient. Slenderman sighed and stood up, staring at both of us. My eyes widened as he said, Violet. That is chapter 4 of a Ben fan fiction, and I hope you guys enjoy. And sorry about all the coughing. I've pre-recorded like 10 videos straight, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Bye bye.